Hello and welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, I will start making the PollOption entity. So this will be linked to the poll entity. There will be a relationship between the poll entity to the PollOption entity. A poll entity can have 1, 0, or more than one poll options. So let's go to the entities, new class, and poll option. Simple. So it will be public, of course. And starting, we want an ID, of course. We want Spring Boot to generate the ID. The public string ID. We are doing this quite often, so you'll just know what happens. Now we want two stuff. We want first a string that represents the option name, makes sense, and we want an integer that represents the option votes. So the option go to the restaurant has 2 votes. And all right, now we need something to do, like a constructor, public poll option. It will receive a string. For example, when we start constructing the poll option, we just want to pass the option name because it will always start with 0 votes. So we receive the option name, the option name. What's happening? The option name, okay? And what we do with this? Dot option name is equal to option name, of course, and then this dot option votes is equal to 0. This is as simple as this. We don't need to create any more stuff, any more constructor, any more getters, because we are just simplifying this process and we have the public members. So that's it. So now we can do something like this. Imagine that I want to create, so I have the poll option. And now to create, I was forgetting that, to create a poll option, I need a poll option constructor, poll option repository, sorry. So we just need to create a class, poll option repository. It will extend, sorry, it's not a class, it's a public interface. We need an interface, which will extend the Mongo repository. This first argument means the entity type that you want to save, so it's the poll option. And this will be, it needs to be serializable. In this case, it will be the string, which represents the ID of that entity. So we just need to import. Luckily, we don't need to implement nothing in here or to declare some methods like we did in the poll repository, like find by poll name, because we just need to find by ID. So when we go, for example, when we want to retrieve a given poll, we go to that poll, and then we iterate over these lists. We check the IDs that are inserted in this list, and we find this poll option by that ID. And we get that poll option, which is in the database, and we can return the complete poll with the poll name, the poll question, the ID, and the list, the options list that it has. So, all right, we can now go to here. So we just have this repository. We can just go poll option repository, poll option. All right, just need to import. So we are good to go. We can just now do something like poll option. We can use like the poll repository. We use the same way. Poll option repository dot delete all. Let's delete everything that is in the database. Every poll option entity that is in the database. And now we can just create some poll options. So poll option 1, it will be equal to new poll option, and this only receives a name, so option 1. Okay, this is where you guys want to go. Restaurant, maybe create those 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Restaurant, I want to go to restaurant, to the bar, to the pool, I don't care. And where do you guys want to go to dinner? Restaurant, and we want to dinner on the snack bar. Okay, now poll option 1. So now this receives a list. The options just receives the list of these IDs, but we don't have those IDs because we haven't inserted on the database. So we can just do this poll option repository dot save, and we can save just poll option 1. This save, we can get the ID dot ID. Okay. Yes, we are not assigning nothing, but I will tell you why. We can put this right here, and we have the ID of that poll. So we can just repeat this. So 2, 3, and 4, and 5. 4, 5. Okay. Okay. These semicolons that we don't need, and we are good to go. So when we execute this code, we don't have show collections. If we find that show collections, we don't have nothing. And if we just run this, it will create the poll option collections and then create the poll collection and insert the entities that we are creating in here. We have 2 restaurants, for example, but this won't be the same. These are different objects with different IDs, but the poll option name is the same. So show collections. We have 2 collections, the poll, so we can just dv.poll.find.pretty, so it can be formatted. And then we have those IDs, and you ask, oh, what is that ID? And I'll show you. dv.pollOption.find.pretty, and magic, this ID is this ID. So when you have here the restaurant is the option 4. You have 2 restaurants in here, however they have different IDs. So imagine that you delete this poll. When we delete this poll, we want to delete these 3 options because they have a relationship, they are associated to that poll, so we don't leave garbage in the database. And yeah, I think that's it. So later, we don't want to show this to the customer or to the user. We want to show the actual data. So when I go find a poll, imagine I want to find this poll by ID. I don't want to show the user this data. I want to show the user this data, but we don't want to show this ID. We want to show like a list of options. So this must be inside and replace this. So that's something that we will have to do. In the next tutorial, I'll introduce you to the controllers, to the HTTP requests that you'll need to do, maybe to insert a poll, get a list of polls, get a poll by name, delete a given poll. We will have a new class which will define a controller, a REST controller, and we can start doing interesting stuff. So if you want to go ahead, you can install, if you want, the Postman. We will use the Postman for this. And yes, I think it's done for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Drop a like if you liked the video. Drop a dislike if you didn't like it. Subscribe to my channel to see more content. And stay awesome, my friends. Goodbye.